Welcome to the Gentleman's Talk, where the podcast talks about a man's battle with mental health, his personal experiences, and his journey to be a better soul. Hosted by James Dean Littlejohn.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Gentleman's Talk. Hope you're okay. We are here. I made it to Reflection Sunday. My normal favourite day, but the last couple of weeks I've been chucked out of sync a little bit. But I don't know. I feel in a good place. I feel strong mentally at the moment, which is a really nice feeling. So it's I don't know. You know, I get these numb feelings, and like I said, I've got a lot going on, but the resilience and strength that I've been able to capture and hold on to is really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just positive, I suppose, but I'm trying to look at something a little bit, I don't know, it's trying to get a bit wordy. But it's just nice. It's a refreshing feeling. It's a refreshing feeling to feel strong, almost feel ready for a change. Like I said, I've got a big move coming up soon to a new house, upgrading. So the kids have got their extra, their own rooms. So we're thinking of the future. And I've got a lot going on work-wise. There could be a little bit of change coming up. All sorts. But I do feel that, I'm in a good place because, I've always maintained it's who's around you. It's not what you have, it's who you have. And that's a really important thing to remember. Because a lot of the times as I'm clearing out ready for this move, I'm looking at stuff that I've held on to for years that I don't use, and I'm starting to become a bit more of a minimalistic person. And I think that's just as I mature mentally. You do naturally become a little bit like that when you get a bit older, I think, anyway, especially generational. And I think you do. You care less about the material aspects. I still like nice things, but at the same time, I'm learning now. I think because mentally I'm strong. Yes, I have my good days, and yes, I do have my bad days. And at the moment, I do feel mentally strong. But we talk about in mental health all the time how sometimes we try to mask our emotions, mask our mental health by buying things because we want that adrenaline rush. We need those endorphins. We buy things. I always found that was where most of my debt came from, most of my miserable days came from, buying things that I thought were going to, make me feel good. And they never really did, because I never really put everything full into them. So they were just kind of quick fix plasters. And it's only now really where, I'm maturing mentally, like I said, I'm on this journey, I'm trying to better myself. And I'm surrounded by just amazing people, and it's good. It has its good points and it has its bad points, but the bad points now are actually, do they have bad points? I don't think they do. I'm surrounded by just amazing people, and I know we all go for our own little journeys and stuff, but like I said, when you're making gifts for people that care about you, and you're getting gifts, and like I said, I got absolutely rewarded by having another one of my amazing friends, and I've just been absolutely spoilt by the people around me, and it's really important to acknowledge that. I think with that is just giving me the strength to actually look a bit more positive. And I'm at the moment, it's really weird, but I'm also like enjoying my work-life balance. I'm enjoying not caring about the big organisation as a whole, because they don't care about us. I do what I need to do to the best of my abilities. I never ever compromise my knowledge and skills. But what I do is I give them what they pay me for, and no more. I don't push myself. I know what I'm capable of, but at the same time, if I'm sat there doing nothing, which is, I think, the beauty of working from home. If I'm sat there doing nothing and you're in the office, sometimes you'll go and have a chat, and you'll go and walk off and talk to somebody, or you'll go for a walk. Well, I don't want that. If I don't need to go into the office, if I don't want to work, or I've got 5 minutes spare, I walk through to the front of my house and I see my children and I see my wife, I see my family. Why the hell do I care about, and I don't mean this in a negative sense, but why do I care about the gossiping in work? We waste so much time in work, and I know I digress a little bit, but it's really important to acknowledge my work-life balance. I'm not sat there with people that just, kiss ass because you're the boss, or, they're just like wanting their easy life, so they just, they butter up for nothing, but they're not really your friend. They'll screw you over, and I've had many of those. You think these colleagues sometimes are your friends, and a lot of the time they'll try and screw you over for their own advantage. I always feel the best of everybody that's around me, but it's very rare that you get that, I will caveat that with, I have been very fortunate. Obviously I've worked with my best friend, and I'm in a relatively new team now of two guys that are, the similar age, so we've all got the same rhetoric in life, we've gone through the bullshit, so we don't want that fucking shit anymore, so we just crack on, and that's where we just want the simple things, and we've all got the similar ethos that don't be at home, don't be at work wasting your time if you can be at home spending time with your friends or your family. And that's where my work-life balance comes in. Why do I want to sit and stare at a screen when there's nothing going on? And I've put in hours everywhere else. I never take from the company, so I always accrue the hours I work. So it's all, I think it's all justifiable. But it's nice feeling to feel that. It's nice to, anyway, I'm going to digress here, so I'm not actually going to do that. I'm not actually going to do that at all, because I would have got myself into a little bit of a tangent there, because I was just kind of thinking, about work, and obviously if you're self-employed, and you're going to put in a bit more because you'll get more out of it, but I'm talking about corporation stuff, and I think we're seeing that dynamic change a little bit throughout the world, aren't we, at the moment, that everyone's saying, you are just modern day slavery. So and it is very much like that. So it's nice to feel that, and I think that's, like I said, going back to, before I digress again, that's what the importance is of having the right people around you, the right mentality around you, and actually engaging with people that want to listen to you and care. Like I said, I've this very relatively, this is how open and honest I am. I have this relatively new friend I've spoken about before. He bought my beautiful YZF-R6 Extreme off me, and we had a lot in common. Both had military backgrounds, etc. Both had love for the same bike, so it was kind of amazing that we managed to get talking. And he listens to my podcasts, and he no doubt, hi Luke, you'll listen to this as well, and like my other friends as well. I absolutely love it that they listen to me, and sometimes I actually forget that, because I am so open and honest, I think that they know me more than I realise they know me, which is a wonderful feeling when you realise it. But anyway, we were talking, and I haven't spoken to him because we've never met or anything, but I think it's just, when you've got trust and faith in somebody, and I think that the older you get, the more you tend to just trust people and acknowledge that, and I think that's what that ability gave. And I told him my backstory of why I've been a bit like I was. I brought him into the circle of trust, if you like. If we're going to go to Meet the Fockers and all that sort of stuff, the good movie times. But anyway, the circle of trust came in, and I said, this is what's happened, mate. I'm willing to tell you, but just so you know, because you listen to my podcasts, just so you know what is the background of where I'm coming from and how strong you can be. And anyway, when I explained it to him, I woke up to a lovely message, just and offering strength and unity again, and it's really nice to feel that. And I've had that all the way through from those those mini groups, this mini group I've got around me of people that aren't false, aren't fake, willing to look after me, and I'm willing to look after them, and we're willing to, I know for a fact, and I was saying this to my wife the other day. She said, but are these, what you class as a good friend? And I said, well, a good friend to me is somebody that if I didn't see you for 10 years and then all of a sudden I came and saw you, it would be like we never had that 10 years apart. That's a good friendship. And everybody I think around me in my small little group is very much, I feel, is in that bulk, in that little area. I know they're never going to screw me over or moan or do any shit to me. and I know we're going to look after each other. And it is really important to acknowledge that. And, letting someone into that circle of trust is a very, very big thing. You're inherently, although you can be open and honest, and I am an open and honest person, there is a level of honesty that you're willing to give. And I think that I have a very, very small circle of trust. But I am open and honest because at the end of the day, if I wasn't open and honest, it's really hard to read me. It's really hard. It's really difficult. And I think that the more you are open and honest, the more people can assess you and go, fucking hell, he's gone through that and look how strong he is. Or he's going through something, you can tell because he's not quite been right. And I think that's where the open and honesty for me is starting to show real positive signs about moving forward. It's just kind of, when you're open and honest, people just tend to go, fuck, you're going through this. Wow, I could never imagine, but fucking hell, you're here for me. And, I haven't seen my best mate for about 3 weeks, I think, two and a half weeks, which I know sounds, what you on about, mate, fucking 2.5 weeks is nothing, but we used to seeing each other and we used to, sort of offloading all of our problems. And we do that for the last 8 weeks, we've played golf. And it's been absolutely incredible. I've started to get into golf and I'm really enjoying that. And anyway, today was that kind of offload. I like I said, it boosted me. Went and played golf this morning and had a pretty successful round between the two of us. And it was a good time. It was really, really good time. And I think that's where everything just seems to be falling into place, is by being an open and honest person. These people have engaged and they can tell when you're not there, when you need something. And I think that's where the importance comes in. And that's why it's so relevant to talk and to explain to people what you're going through. Because if you don't, like I said, you can listen to me and go, fucking hell, he just sounds like he's a bit fucking down or whatever. And then if you knew the news, you'd be like, fuck me, wow, you're still going. And I did. I took, 2 days off and carried fucking on, because life still goes on. I don't want to sit there and we can battle it, and I can battle things with the people that are around me. And that was, like I said, relevant with being open and honest with this, my friend, the new friend of mine, and then, getting gifts and just re-engaging with my mate. One's on holiday soon, and we're getting updates from him, off in France, and that's absolutely incredible. And then my mate going away for a week or so, and then coming back, we had a great round of golf. It's just promoting positivity. And even one of my other friends, like I said, this guy that I just met, bought my bike, Luke, he suggested getting into the drones again, and I didn't really give it a thought. I know I've mentioned it on my previous podcast, but I didn't really give it much thought, and he was like, yes. And then that was underpinned by my mate this morning. We were playing golf and he was like, absolutely, mate, that would be like, it's using skills, it's using your fucking brain, you'll enjoy it, it's fast paced, there's a bit of extreme in it, you can do videos and post video. And I was like, I've got a fucking drone sat here that's been used about 6 or 7 times. It's a proper 4K jobby. It's lovely. It's a really, really nice camera. I think it's a Parrot something or other. And I was like, well, there you go. And then I can do a bit more of the little tiny whizzy stuff just for a little bit of fun. And I was like, yeah, there you go. That's the type of thing that I should be looking at. But that was all suggested by people that are listening to me, that people that are talking to me, they know what I'm going through. They're supporting me. And it's just an amazing feeling. I can't explain it, really, in terms of when you get that positivity, when you finally look at your friendship groups and you go, oh, I've got like 450 friends. You haven't got 450 friends. And one of the things, do you know what? I can actually underpin that with quite a sad story that was devastating, and I want to share it actually, because for me, it proved a point that of how dark social media can make things. And I had this friend that he was a good friend of mine, and I know we went for a bit of a rocky patch. And he was starting a new business. Now, I looked at it, when he asked me my opinion, I said, I think you're a bit silly for going for it, because it's a big leap. He just got married. He was looking at upgrading to a bigger house, and they were looking at then moving on their family, etc. He was getting his life in order financially, and everything else was falling into place. And then he took this jump. Now, I look at things a bit differently to other people, especially when you come from being. I've never really wanted to go self-employed because of the unpredictability of it. I know people, that'd be quite crazy because you can earn more money, etc., etc. I get that, but at the same time, no, I like the security factor of working for an organisation and working. You work within the parameters of the organisation, and it's just as easy manipulative or able to be manipulative in the sense of how you work that organisation. You still get that fundamental bit, but yeah, it's So anyway, I was getting into sort of those sides of things, and that was giving me the ability then to look around and share. And then he was looking around and sharing. So he was moving into this new business, and I was like, a few people have said go for it, and I can see that because it did kind of make you think, go for it, and he went for it. Okay, he went for it. So that was brilliant. However, one of the first things he did, and this is what really, really upset me a little bit, because I see why he did it. And he was like, right, I'm starting this new business. If everybody on my Facebook friends list subscribed to my business on a monthly basis, I'm comfortable the business will succeed. Okay, right. Well, that is when he did. I think he did 6 months, and then pulled out of the business. Now, there might have been other reasons, and I get that, but I was really hurt for him because, number one, it just showed me how fake social media is, and how you can look at social media in a business sense or a friendship sense. I've got 500 friends, 800 friends, but when you put a post up and you've got 800 friends and you get, say, 40 likes, the percentage ratio there is no different to the same percentage ratio of, say, for me, who's cleared out my friendship list and I literally have my family on it. That's it, my family and my family and very close friends, people that I know are engaging in my life, and I actively engage in their life. If you haven't engaged in my life or moved on, or just it's a stalking situation basically to me, I'm like, fuck off, I'm not interested. I don't want to view your life because you're not interested. And I know it sounds like a harsh way, but I'm not. It's all fake. And the sooner we realise that is a fake aspect, the better we move on with life, because you can run a business, or you can run this and run that, and then if you look at your social media following, it's fake, and you've got this sort of in between area where you get thousands or a couple of thousands, and then you think you've got it all there, and then you've got the people in between that think that they've nearly made it, they've got a couple of million, then you've got the next ones with big millions, or sorry, a couple of 100,000, then you've got the big ones, a couple of million, and they're the ones that are making small money on it. So social media can be a bit of a killer, I think, and I was really sad and upset for him, because I really wanted him to succeed, and I gave him a lot of pep talks on the way and over the months, make sure he was okay, and the reason I'm talking about it is because I was thinking about him today and hoping he's succeeding again. So, but it's really important how I said to him, don't look at social media as your life. It's really, really important not to do that, because what it does, it gives you false hope. Gives you false, everybody's there for me. When you actually whittle it down to the people that either engage with you or family, when you whittle it down to those, like I said, mine's about 22, something silly like that, and I know they're the people that I just want to engage with and talk with, then that's all I'm interested in. Everyone else around that circle is fine. It was a chapter, and that's how I look at it. You've got to keep moving and making memories and enjoying life, and that's where I'm at. That's basically where the strength comes from, I suppose, and that's just because I'm around the right people, doing the right things, just taking my time and enjoying life. And you've got to really slow yourself down. I think that's also where the reflection and the meditation aspect, has really, really helped gear me up mentally to go in. There's absolutely nothing I can do about that, or actually having the ability to recognise that it's beyond your scope, and not stress yourself out or not put pressure on yourself. Just literally learn to say no, and learn to fucking enjoy yourself, and learn to go to work and go, do you know what, I don't want that extra hours overtime, because it's worth fuck all, and I'm losing an hour with my kids or my wife or partner or whatever. It's just how we got to look at life to mentally give us the ability. We've all been overworked, underpaid, overworked and underpaid. We hear it all the time, don't we? But we are, and it's stressing us out, and we're losing the quality of life. And I do see a little bit of the new generational aspect. Some of the good stuff, for me, is helping, and we're learning to use our maturity to adapt that to ourselves, and it does help to make a better life. It really does. And that's where we stop looking at the fake niceties that we think are there. We stop trying to chase fake money, social media money all the time. Put it into context, do things if you want to do it, and if you are successful, brilliant, fantastic, but don't forget to look at the basics of survival in life and enjoyment in life. But that's the kind of positive sort of download, really, if you like, from me this last week. As I'm drinking thanks to my good friend Bilster, I'm drinking my gin today out of my the Gentleman's Talk gin glass. So cheers, big ears. That's fucking delightful. And I've got a gin on the go. Yeah, so I've got a gin. I'm on Sunday. Like I said, I'm feeling positive. I've been like I said, I've been getting out a bit more, learning my parameters, learning what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy, listening to a lot of music as well. And these are all things that we need to do. We forget it. We're so fixated on the rat race of life and trying to do everything all the time. And like I said on my last podcast, well, something I didn't, but Billy said on my last podcast that we did our live, little nice little segment we do, and he said there, he likes those lazy weekends, and it is true, we need to recoup. If you're constantly on the go and you look, I need to be doing something all the fucking time, every time, you're going to keep straight, because you're never going to get that relaxation time. Find that thing that you enjoy, and that's the beauty of, that's what another thing, that all the people around me, they're all doing things that they enjoy, they all have hobbies, so that that they're mentally active, that they're trying to help themselves, that they're pushing themselves forward, they're not all wallowing in self-pity, and they're all going, no, I'm trying these things. And again, being surrounded by positivity will promote positivity. So yeah, that's my little Sunday download, really. But and it draws me on to relationships, actually. So there's a little bit I want to talk about relationships, just because it was resonating with me a little bit. And I was thinking about relationships whilst I was on my reflection over the weekend. So Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I normally try to I like to look at a topic. If I can't have something to reflect on in terms of the day, like this weekend, not a lot's happened. It was my we had my daughter's birthday yesterday, my middle daughter. So we had a barbecue and all that sort of stuff, which was really, really nice. Got to see some of the family, got to sit down and talk. My brother-in-law I haven't seen him for a long time, and he's just, we bounce off each other. Absolutely banter's horrendous. It's good laugh. So I got to catch up with him yesterday. We played this Malteser game where you get a king-size bag of Maltesers and literally bosh them in your mouth in a wanna, and the first one to chew them up and swallow is the winner. Obviously a man thought of this game, by the way, and because it's the only thing you can turn into competitive, because surely no woman would want to do that, because they want to enjoy the chocolate. Anyway, we did this and I was shocked. I couldn't breathe. I had an element of panic about midway through, because I was like, my throat's almost closed off now with this thick fucking chocolatey and bloody biscuity, whatever that centre is of the Malteser. They say is light and fluffy, not in a king size fucking bag, mushed up it ain't. And saliva had all drawn up, so my mouth was like fucking the bottom of fucking Gandhi's flip flops, full on sand everywhere. So I was like, you can probably, if you've ever licked the bottom of a bird cage, it's relatable. It's relatable in age. Some big bits of seed, some little bits of seed, lots of fucking shit, which is called chocolate, and then no saliva. So we did this, and I know I'm digressing a bit. We did this, and I lost because it was a shock factor. He'd played this game before, so he knew what he had to do. He had to like break it up into middle bit. I just fucking smashed down. And I don't know if you ever played the game Dry Crackers, where you get a stack of 6 dry crackers, and it's the first one to eat them is the fucking winner. Well, yeah, I've never fucking won that. And the other one we used to play was you get a bag of Twiglets, normal bag of Twiglets, and the first one to eat the Twiglets is the winner. Now, again, if you've ever tried to eat a fucking Twiglet fast, it's like eating, razor barbed wire. It literally fucking chews. Your mouth's completely spitting out blood. I did that once in a pub when I was about 19. And that was the first time I'd met this person. Actually, this was this classy person, this lady that was sat there. She was at the table where we were just about to play this game, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad I'm out tonight. Last night I did a grand slam," and I was like, "What's that?" And she basically puked, pissed, and shit herself. So and I saw a different light in women that day, and I was only young. So but yeah, and then we proceeded to do the game, and boom, bosh. My mouth was fucking. Because I was determined to win this. But if you've ever tried to eat a Twiglet fast, it carves, deep gorges into the gums of your mouth. It's like fucking hacking down. You might as well. It's practically ploughed, ready to be seeded. If you know what I'm saying. That can be meant in an innuendo state. Or it could be meant in the farmer's context. You choose. That's your desire. But anyway, it's So they're the things we played. But so it was nice to see my family, and we, like I say, we had a. But anyway, I didn't. So as I digressed onto the pattern. There, what I was meant to say was I didn't have a topic. So. I didn't have anything really to reflect on, so I didn't really do a lot. It was just it was a pleasant time. I had a barbecue, had cake, etc., so get to see some family. But when I came back in the evening and I go out for my half-hour walk, I didn't really have anything to reflect on. So I tried to talk about a subject. I tried to think about a subject, things I've struggled with in mental health. And relationships has been quite prominent. And relationships is one of the biggest... they're all big, so I can't keep saying the biggest because I say that on every one, but relationships are so underrated in terms of how they impact mental health and how relationships are massively changed, normally for the worst, in terms of mental health. And I'm talking about, if you've got severe mental health, and I've had, I've dealt with, the depths, and I've spoken a few times about this, and where, I tend to say things with words, and I've said some dreadful things in the past, and, I remember my therapy session, and the woman said to me when she was saying, why did you do this? She says, when have you lost control? When we were talking about when I'd lost control, or what I felt was lost control, and she said, when I said, oh yeah, I fucking said this and this, and she said, but how did that make you feel? And I was like, empowered. I got adrenaline from it. She went, what, at someone else's demise? I was like, I did. Mentally, that's what I wanted. I just wanted to fucking break people down. And we forget about that. We forget about the real shit part of mental health, and we forget that how many relationships, how many friendships have failed over mental health by not dealing with it. How many has failed? And we can all, on our hand on heart, say we've all got a friendship or a relationship or something that has broken down because of mental health. How many times have you been with a woman and you've gone, yeah, we've split up, she's fucking crazy. All right, yeah, women are a bit fucking crazy. I get that, which is, we say we don't like it, but men like a little bit of craziness in their life, keeps us on our fucking toes. However, there is the odd woman out there that's a little bit more crazy than others. Well, maybe she needed help. Maybe she needed to go and get some sort of therapy, and you didn't know how to emotionally deal with her mental health. And how many times have men walked away from relationships because of mental health and the stuff they're enduring? Maybe the woman hasn't got mental health issues, but she's a bit fucking crazy, and he goes home to that every day, and then the kids. And how many men go to work and we know that person's in a shit relationship or being broken down systematically, but we just ignore it, we don't talk about it. And how many friendships have you sat there and you've had an argument because you've had a disagreement? Christ, I know, like I said, I refer back to 10 minutes ago, and I've lost a friendship because of, I stand by his own mental health, and I'm in the place where I wanted to make mine better. And there was a few things said, but I'm not quite fully better, so I did react quite emotionally, because that's how I deal with things. I deal with things emotionally, and that was at the start of this journey. So I've lost a friendship over my mental health and his mental health. I'm doing something about it. He hasn't just yet, and I said he needs to. So, but there's plenty of times where, and it's not just that, mental health unfortunately doesn't stop there, does it? Mental health doesn't just stop with friendships and relationships. It then turns into your family and the relationships in your family. So I've lost relationships with all three of my daughters, and I guarantee that it has affected our relationship going forward. Despite as funny as I am, I still, I blow my own trumpet toot toot on that one. But I am. But there's only so much humour can put a plaster over the things that I've said, the things they've heard, and I'm not talking terrible things, but I'm just the effing, the blinding, the slamming the doors, just losing my shit because my mental health, and I fought it for fucking years, and I went, no, I will drink, and I'll have a drink, and I'll have a good time. I'm in a bad mood because I'm drunk, because fucking of everybody else, not because of me, not because I'm fucking a mess, not because my head's a bit fucked up. No, I'm getting drunk and I'm getting angry, but it's all your fault. You just don't let me enjoy myself and relax. And that came from me. I just did what I wanted to do. I was saying there's nothing wrong with me for years, and I was literally fucking smashing people down, not smashing down physically, but emotionally around me all the time. I lost my daughters. I've lost my mum and dad, which has taken me years to build that relationship up. And like I said, when I spoke to my friend, mums are amazing. They should be there, spectacular, and we've all had mums that we've lost, and mums that, we might be losing, and we've got mums that are still young, but we need to build relationships with our mums. But I didn't. Mine failed because of my mental health, and now I'm trying to rebuild that. And there's a lot of patches there because of the things that were said from her and myself, etc., etc. So again, I'm still now building relationships with family because of something that happened 11 years ago. And that's the reality of mental health. It doesn't repair itself overnight. I've been fucking trying to repair this for 2-3 years, on and off. But it's only the last 7 months where I'm, and I'm being tested. But it's only the last 7 months where I've actively tried to engage, and I still don't get it right. I still don't speak to the right people. I don't sometimes engage all the time. I do lose sight of things, because I go through my own stuff as well. But I'm trying. I'm making more of an effort. It's like the podcast. I love doing the podcast, but I challenge and battle myself sometimes. But you've got to recognise that. And like I said, I'm here now, 8 months into this journey of even being, on point with trying to better myself. And I'm still building friendships. I've still lost friendships. I've still lost relationships. There's people that I've cared deeply for that I'll challenge if I ever speak to that person ever again. And that does affect you, because you're like, I know why this all systematically broke down now, because I'm in a better place. I broke down because I was a fucking tosser for a long time. Yes, like I said, I reflect back. I did all the good stuff in life. I I was always in, I was always working and I was always bringing money in, and that's what men tend to think about, isn't it? We tend to just go, I don't, whatever's behind me, there could be fucking balls of flames and fire and carnage. As long as I'm working, as long as I'm bringing the money in, I'm doing what I need to do. Everything around me's fucking failing. Friendships, relationships, family, everything's breaking down. And men, as long as they're working, as long as they go to fucking work, as long as they get up in the morning and they earn their pennies, that's it. Everyone just says, well, you can't say anything. Go to fucking court or whatever. Can't say anything. I was working. I was still bringing home the fucking money, and sometimes that's acceptable. And sometimes men will work even harder than they should do. They'll go and work more jobs because they don't want to deal with the problems. And then what they do then is they bring in more money, and then we get this lavish lifestyle that you're not enjoying, but everyone else around you could be. And then, how many relationships are built on the finances are sticking everything together? There's lots of times when we don't deal with this in relationships and how they can systematically break down, and we can lose really important people in our life that we sometimes can never get back, because words are, as much as I say sorry now, I know that those words over the years have hurt, and I've said some, I've said some awful things to some awful people, and even to the point where I reflected back the other day. My friend said to me, Kieran, when we were chatting, my friend Kieran, and he said he knows I was moving house, so he's like, if you need a hand moving, and I was like, dude, I would absolutely love that. That would be amazing. However, I remember when you moved, and I didn't help you, because I was a shithead friend that was just depressed, and all I wanted to do was sit and do nothing all weekend. I wanted to just go home and be lazy. I didn't go home like I know, like now I'm really proactive. I try to keep on point with things. But then what I was doing was I was busting my ass in work, absolutely fucking nailing work, and really putting in the overtime and taking what I could. 9 times out of 10, I was just working myself on the ground, because you never really got massive extra money. But it wasn't like that in the organisation. But then I would go home, do nothing in the evening, and watch dross shit TV, and go for a walk. So I did fuck all then. And then at the weekends, because I was depressed, and this is where I reflect back now to my demeanour and my attitude and how I looked at life. And then I would do nothing Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and then go back to work Monday. And I did that for 6 years. Well, probably a little bit less, about 3 years. Because before I really got into the depths of my depression. And then he wanted me to move, and I was like, and I just fucking ignored it. I didn't even bother. I was such a wanker friend. So I said to him, mate, I can't accept your help, because I wasn't there for you when you needed you. And I know I've tried in other ways, so hopefully I try to unpick those problems in other ways. But it does play on your mind, and those are the things that we forget when we're dealing with mental health. We forget whatever your problem is that's brought on your mental health episode, and dealing with it. And I say episode in the loosest of terms, because it sounds like it's just a moment in the life, and it's not. Like I said, mine's fucking forever. So I constantly have to fucking battle all the time. So episode was probably the wrong word. But if you have a mental health breakdown or a strike, or you get depressed or stressed or anxiety, what we don't think about is the fallout. And it's very easy for me, because I feel better, and like say I feel strong now, like yeah, I feel fucking strong, mate, I feel great, and I talk about this all the time. Yeah, I'm doing a really good fucking job. What you forget though, because one of the things I don't remember a lot about is I remember the big episodes I had, but there was a lot of my past memory where I just blocked it out. It was a blur for me. I remember big things that really offered me a memory, and a lot of them were negative memories. But I just wasn't a good person, so I try to block that out, and that's the problem. And then when you're sat there going, oh, I'm fucking great, hunky dory, and here I am now. Hold on. chin chin gin gin out of my glass, thinking I'm fucking smiling and waving, that is how I might look on the outside. But on the inside, there's a lot of pain. I'm still masked out. I'm still trying to undo things. I don't forget these things. However, it is very easy to try and forget them. But I don't. And that's why I'm open and honest. And that's why I reminded my mate. I said, I can't do this. And he went, absolutely, mate. It doesn't fucking matter. You know I'll be there for you. And that is the true friendship. That was the past. You know, we can address why you were like you were. And, you know, it's aside. It doesn't matter. And I said this to a friend the other day. I said, you know, if it's in the past, you can't change it. There's nothing you can do. You know, we can't predict the future. So, and the present is called the present because it's a gift. You know, you don't even know if you're certain to wake up tomorrow. So you need to start forgetting and forgiving. And that's another thing. It's not, I wouldn't say you never, no. Let me reverse that. It's about forgiving. It's not about forgetting. Forgetting is the wrong word. You never, ever, ever forget. What you do, though, is you forgive. You never use it in malice. And you forgive. And you move on. And then that's how you get on with life and you start enjoying life, is you learn to forgive. You've got to make the effort to make the forgive worthwhile. And that's where I said to him, I offered the acknowledgement I wasn't great. Then he reciprocated with, it doesn't matter, I'll help you. So it wasn't like I was trying to fucking go, you know, if I'd have turned around and go, yes mate, absolutely, yeah, of course buddy, you know, hillbilly haulers, and, you know, sort of play, but I didn't want to be that. I'm an open person and I know when I fucked up. So if I fucked up, I will say I fucked up. And that's really important. And that is, it's all encompassed and all encapsulated into this journey of life. It's saying sorry. It's acknowledging other people. It's not being selfish. It's not looking through life in rose-tinted glasses, because if you look at life with rose-tinted glasses, you're going to be fucked up, because as soon as you drop those glasses forward to see reality, you're going to be looking at a fucking apocalypse, World War V, if you keep doing that. What you do is you look at life positively, acknowledging that there is negativity in life. However, you forgive when you can forgive. You move on when you can't forgive, so you can let go. Those are really important facts. And that's all encompassed in this journey, because if you just keep holding on to resentment, the only person that's going to guarantee that will stress out is the person holding on to the resentment. It's only you that's going to feel that stress. Number one, the other person doesn't care, because I wouldn't say doesn't care. It's not they don't always care, but they don't acknowledge the level of hurt that they may have caused, because they don't feel as passionately about you as the incident as you do. And that's clearly apparent, because otherwise it would have been, you know, if you really felt sorry, you would have just fucking burst out and acknowledged it and said, I'm sorry. And also, there's a bigger part here, and that's only a small 10%, but 90% of the problem is they might not even know they did it. So you might be holding on to resentment for something that you don't even know you did. And that's where, if you're open and honest about a scenario and someone mentions something, don't distort the truth. Keep it factual. Acknowledge when you fucked up. Say sorry when you know you need to say sorry. And forgive when you need to forgive. And like I said, move on if you can't forgive, so you can let go. That's really important. And that sort of kind of encompass all really inside this journey of betterment and well-being and looking after, getting a work-life balance, getting a friendship balance, getting them the right friends around you, relationships, having relationships. You know, I mean, this is a snippet, but relationships are so important, and it's important to acknowledge when you fuck up and try and make better what you did. If that's, I mean, it is a terminology. I was trying to just tell that you do make something better. And for me, I think that is where relationships become difficult, because sometimes you have to let go of friendships to make your life better, because you know that we all know if we have a toxic friendship or a toxic relationship, and sometimes it is hard to let those go. But like I did in the past, you know, my friendship, which I still talk about now, like I said, it was toxic for me. It wasn't where I wanted to be, so I had to let that go. Now, as hard as that was, I had to let that go because it wasn't a mutual path we were on. We were on different paths but relied on each other, if you see what I mean. So I had to make that break. And you do that in relationships. You know that if you're acknowledging that if you've fallen out of love with somebody, you should move on. It's never that simple, because we're human beings and we don't, not a lot of us, there is a few out there, like to cause pain. But you know, sometimes it's inevitable to have. But relationships are, whether it's like I said, whether it's a friendship, relationship, family, you're all going to suffer. And like I said, you know, I'm still undoing huge aspects. I haven't spoken to my sister for 4 years. I acknowledge she's there, but we just don't talk. And it's because of, and I remember the conversation that stopped us talking. I could probably recite it to you. It's that ingrained into me. Now, the problem was, and I'm going to say this because I was in the right, but also at the time, I acknowledge I was in the wrong. And one of the big relationship factors for us not talking was the way I was, because my mental health was so horrendous. It caused a rift between us. And then when it came out, because we're very similar me and my sister get on like a house on fire, but we are too similar. We're way too similar in personalities, except I'm obviously the male version, so I got a deeper voice and I'm a bit louder. So, you know, she that's where we clash, and I tend to just try and raise my voice. And we've never really argued full on, but you know, it would do if it came to a crux, you know. And so it just caused a bit of a rift, and that was my mental health and her mental health, because I know she's not dealt with little demons that she may have. So when you get those clashes and we're not quite ready to talk, but again, I have to acknowledge that that's a relationship that's failed because of my mental health. So I need to build that, and this is sometimes where you've got to look at life sometimes like a little bit of a chessboard. You know, you've got to move people, you know, move pieces out the way to get to the end goal, you know, and that is to get to a good life with the Queen. If you're that related, you know, if you honestly, I know it's a difficult one to say that, but that's the way I look at life. So you've got to move things around, and sometimes your friends can be pawns, and they could be, you've got to move them out of the way. And I fucking hate chess. I hate chess. I can't even say it. I don't even know why I'm using chess as an analogy in my life. I had to stop. I was dumbfounded with myself. Wow, I'm using chess as an analogy, and I fucking hate chess. Anyway, I could have used any analogy. Could have used a proper one, like I'm playing Call of Duty, you're just taking out half the team before you get to the fucking flag, mate. Why I went in that voice either, I don't know. Anyway, so things in Journey, it's constantly being evaluated. We constantly review. That's where we get reflection, self-reflection. We look at our friendships. It all comes down to all of these little parts, these little cogs. And if you acknowledge you've got a toxic friendship and you want to move forward, you need to let that friendship go and move forward. It's same as family. You know, I know for a fact there'll be a time when I will talk to my sister. It will be when we're both a little bit older and a little bit more relaxed, and there's no tension, and we just go, life's fucking life. You know, it'll be that similar thing. I get that, and I address that, and I acknowledge it. It's fine. I'm happy with it, because we both did something wrong in it, and we're not both fully willing to move forward. So I accept that, because we spoke about this. And I've lost friendships. Well, the friendships that I still want to hold on to, I'm still holding on to them. Like I said, you know, there's the odd friend here and there I still talk to. But at the same time, sometimes you've got to push them aside until they deal with themselves. And that's managing your friendship groups. That's building on you being a better person and rebuilding bridges. And that's where I said mental health, when we look at those relationships, we forget what devastation can be caused by your poor mental health. Absolute devastation can be caused. So it's really important that you grasp it, you take control of it, because there'll be a point where if you don't, and this is where I'll finish on, if you don't start grabbing these and you're slowly looking at your life at the moment, say you're listening to this and you're looking around yourself and you're going, oh, I don't have many friends, or I don't have many, my family aren't really interested in me, or whatever. Maybe that's because of you. Maybe you haven't made the effort. Maybe they've lost their path with you, or you need to just start building yourself up. Pull away from the toxicity. I can't say that word. Pull away from the toxic elements of your life and start rebuilding yourself for a better life, because you get one chance at it. You've got to start enjoying it. Rebuild those bridges before, if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to be at the end of your journey in a fucking hospital bed with nobody around you. That's the reality of it. You'll have nobody, nothing, and years of lack of memories because you just threw it away. There's opportunities out there for everybody, and it's really important that you look after yourself. So relationships, it's one of those ones, we battle them all the time, but they're so important to have the right ones around us, the right friendships, the right family, and the right everything. It's got everything. It's got to be right around you, and it's all. I got angry with myself there. Relationships was the word I was looking for. I couldn't say it because I was like friendships, relationships. But nurture the right ones around you and look after them as well. Even if you don't talk to someone every day, just drop in, say hello, quick text, use social media for the positives, remove the toxic people out of your life that you're expecting to like you and don't. They're done, dusted, it's a memory. Close that chapter and move forward. Don't hold on to the positives of the memories. Let go of the rest of it, and you'll just fill yourself with positivity then, rather than holding on to the negative aspects. Sometimes we don't realize that the negatives can be involved in holding on to the past as well. So there we go. Thank you for listening. I've really enjoyed tonight. As you can tell, because I spoke for a lot longer than I normally do. I've enjoyed it. I feel really positive, and that's just about the right people. So keep strong, stay focused, and keep positive. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Hopefully I get another little segment with the Billster this week. I'm going to make it a regular thing. There's something going to come forward from that. So keep listening in. I've got to talk to him first. He doesn't know. But yeah, going to get some little segments going in. So have a fantastic time. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care, everyone.